The ancient poets animated all sensible objects with gods or geniuses, calling them by their names and adorning them with the properties of woods, rivers, mountains, lakes, cities, nations, and whatever their enlarged and numerous senses could perceive. And particularly they studied the genius of each city and country, placing it under its mental deity till a system was formed, which some took advantage of and enslaved the vulgar by attempting to realise or abstract the mental deities from their objects. Thus began priesthood. Choosing forms of worship from poetic tales, and at length they pronounced that the gods had ordered such things. Thus men forgot that all deities reside in the human breast. Blake's humanist account of the origins of religion in Plate 11 of The Marriage of Heaven and Hell draws substantially on Enlightenment theories of how religion began. In its conclusion that all deities reside in the human breast, it comes remarkably close to the sceptical hypotheses of philosophers who Blake would later disagree with. Thus, for example, David Hume wrote that each nation has its tutelar deity. Each element is subjected to its invisible power or agent. For Hume, these early religion makers anthropomorphized nature, from whence arose the beauty of their personification of trees, rivers and mountains. There are, however, important differences between Blake's approach and that of deist philosophers such as Hume. For Hume, the poets who create myths are untrustworthy, unreliable narrators of the divine for all their beauty. Their original pagan religions lack the philosophical, prosaic truth of Christianity. They are, in the end, fictions. By contrast, Blake distinguishes poetry from all priestcraft, and it is the latter which introduces error, binding man's desires to reason. For Blake, it is not that philosophy explains religion, rendering it rational, but actually mystifies it, hiding the original energetic impulse to tell stories and thus to create myths. For Blake, there is something fundamental in poetry to man's relation to the objects of the world around us. We simply cannot understand woods, rivers, cities and nations without imagination, without giving them names and properties. Poetry, not philosophy, desire, not reason, is the means by which we create our sense of the cosmos.